Joseph's coat of many colors may not have been all that colorful. If you've ever seen any depictions of Joseph from the Old Testament in Genesis, you've probably seen him draped in this psychedelic coat that requires an epilepsy warning to view. But did you know that it's possible that his coat was just as drab as any other at that time? As you're reading this passage in the Bible, it'll say something like, Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons. But at that point, some translations diverge. The one that you're probably familiar with says something like, Jacob gave Joseph a sick Technicolor coat to stun on his brothers.
I'm AI with the braids. I'm AI with the braids.
That's how the KJV and the ESV render it. But a less common translation reads, Jacob gave Joseph a long-sleeved coat. This is how the CSB and the NRSV translate it. Both of these translations are equally possible because the Hebrew phrase that's translated here can either mean differently colored pieces or long pieces. So it's either referring to a coat made up of different colored pieces or a coat that has pieces attached to the sleeve to make the sleeves longer. So how are we going to figure out which one of these translations is right? Joseph was apparently tasked with keeping tabs on his older brothers.
Ooh, he's snitching. Everybody, he's Hey, dude, get back.
But not required to work the sheep as they were. So it sounds like Jacob has promoted 17-year-old Joseph to a supervisor position over his older brothers. In that time, laborers would wear shorter tunics with shorter hems at the bottom so that they would have greater freedom of movement. But supervisors, because they didn't need all that freedom of movement, would wear longer sleeves and longer hems. You see where I'm going with this? What is more likely to have enraged Joseph's brothers to the point of faking his death and selling him into slavery? That Jacob gave him a cool coat, or that Dad promoted him over them and gave him authority over them? My money's on option 2. So personally, I think that the long-sleeved coat is the better translation, or you could always do what the NET does and say that Jacob gave him a special coat. Because what we do know for sure is that this coat was meant to set Joseph apart as the favorite son. Shoot, maybe it was long and colorful. I don't really know. All I know is that